This year's Jim Thorpe Award to Jonathan Banks, Mississippi State.
Rebels beat the trap. Holloway going up top. And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Finally, a touchdown.
3 area girls basketball teams brought home state championships in 2012. Belmont rallied from a late fourth quarter deficit to win the second title in 3 years. A day later, Pontotoc preserved their unbeaten season thanks to a late triple by Kayla Russell.
Ford off the Rosenbaum. They got someone loose. Here's Russell for 3. Got it! Off the window!
She banked it in.
And the Lady Vols of Starkville Academy completed their own triple, winning the division, class, and overall MAIS championships, and are the favorites to do it again in 2013. Regarded as one of the most talented teams in MSU basketball history, the 2011-2012 Bulldogs shot out of a cannon to begin the season, winning 13 of their first 15 games. Most of the success came from eventual first-round pick Arnett Moultrie. But the season took a turn for the worse when freshman Rodney Hood announced he was leaving the team. From there, the Bulldogs lost 7 of their last 9, including longtime head coach Rick Stansberry.
I thought long and hard about this. It's time in my life to start a new chapter.
Just 1 month later, the Bulldogs had their successor in Rick Ray, who has struggled with injuries and a depleted roster in his first season. When the month of October rolled around, the Heritage Academy football team was just 2-5. But the leaves weren't the only things that changed when fall came calling. The Patriots changed their season by winning 5 straight en route to the school's first state championship since 1986. Meanwhile, at the start of the 2012 high school football season, the question was, could they be better than 2008? After 2012, there is little doubt as to who the best Noxubee County football team is of all time. The Tigers were the team of destiny in 2012, led by touchdown record holder Darryl Robinson and a lethal defense. Tyrone Shorter's Tigers completed the first 16-0 season in school history en route to Noxubee's second state championship. Senior defensive back Jonathan Banks will leave Starkville as one of the all-time greatest players in Mississippi State football. The East Webster graduate became the first major award winner in school history on December 6th as he earned the Jim Thorpe Award given to the best defensive back in the nation. 7 weeks into the 2012 college football season, Dan Mullen and Mississippi State faced one of the school's biggest games of all time. The motto, "We Believe," spread like wildfire through campus prior to their showdown against number 2 Alabama as unbeaten MSU traveled to Tuscaloosa. The game was one-sided, however, leaving the Bulldogs beaten, battered, and bruised. But MSU did finish the regular season 8-4 with a berth to the Gator Bowl on New Year's Day. After 2 years of failing to reach the postseason, Ole Miss was due for a new head football coach. Little did they know that just down the road in Jonesboro, Arkansas, was waiting the new leader of the Rebels. Hugh Freeze was hired to take on the task of bringing Rebel football back to prominence. Expectations were low to begin his first season, but Rebel Nation was in store for the ride of their lives in 2012. For 1,456 straight days, the Golden Egg resided in Starkville, but on November 24th, the Egg made its way to its new home for the next 365, mostly due in part to the pass catcher extraordinaire Dante Moncrief, who announced his arrival to the college football world. The sophomore from Raleigh caught 7 passes for 173 yards and 3 touchdowns, as every Rebel fan in attendance at Vaught Hemingway caught #FeedMoncrief fever.
Brown ball to Frazier. He will underhand scoop it. Ball game, and the Bulldogs capture the 2012 SEC baseball tournament.
Their motto was "The road begins in Hoover." Sure enough, that road was paved with maroon bricks. The team coined as hotter than the weather, the Mississippi State Diamond Dogs blazed through the treacherous new SEC baseball tournament format by playing 6 straight afternoon games en route to a shutout win over Vanderbilt to achieve the school's first SEC tournament title since 2005. Later, Tupelo native Chris Stratton would be named SEC Pitcher of the Year and was drafted in the first round of the 2012 MLB Draft. The once friendly confines of the Louisiana Superdome turned into a house of horrors for the LSU Tigers as the first ever all-conference national title in college football gave Nick Saban and Alabama their second national championship in 3 years, earning revenge from the loss earlier in the season to the Tigers in the game of the century. In a defensive slugfest, the Crimson Tide defense kept LSU from crossing the 50-yard line up until the fourth quarter, but it was Trent Richardson's late TD run that ended up being the capper for the Tide as Alabama brought home the school's 14th national championship, with a 15th possibly coming in the next week. The year 2012 began with sorrow and tragedy upon the stunning death of Starkville High's Devin Mitchell. The talented and likable student-athlete was murdered on New Year's Day in West Point. Since that fateful day, the community of Starkville and Yellow Jacket athletics have come together to serve tribute to the young athlete. Since his death, the Yellow Jackets went on to win the school's first state championship in soccer and set out to earn redemption a year after falling short in football. Sure enough, Jamie Mitchell's Yellow Jackets returned to Jackson and brought home the gold ball in memory of their fallen friend.